Hello there, guys, and welcome back to Blues Fans TV for yet another Premier League match live review by myself, as Chelsea thankfully managed to get back 2 winning ways and picked up a huge 3 points against West Ham United tonight at Stamford Bridge with a convincing 3-0 win. Well, that's a lie. It wasn't convincing at all, but the scoreline suggests it was much more convincing than it was, which is great because that's all that rival fans will look at. But yeah, here we are. Welcome back, everybody. I know a lot of you are triggered at my title, but I have to do what I have to do. Look, you lot all be telling me I'm too harsh, and then look at it. It keeps happening week after week after week after week. And hey, the longer it keeps happening, the harsher I will be, and we'll have fun about it. We'll have fun about it. At the end of the day, it ain't that serious, is it? It ain't that serious, but I hope you're all doing well. Of course, if you're new here, please be sure to subscribe to Blues Fans TV. That'd be massively appreciated. Smash the like button right now, whether you're watching this right now or whether you're watching it live, whether you're watching this video later on as a video. And also, please be sure to check out my personal channel, to which the link is down in the description, or you just type in what it says here, my name, Laurens Vescoli, into YouTube. Help me reach 7,500 subscribers. I will be doing one tomorrow, as I do every the day after every single Chelsea game, an in-depth analysis of every Chelsea game. Tomorrow, of course, talking about Chelsea 3, West Ham 0. And shall we leave it at that for the time being? I think we shall. Let's just get into the video. Hello, everybody. Hello in the chat. TMX Oblivion, how you doing, bro? How you doing, Tinashi? Sorry if I butcher any of your names. Obviously, guys. Obviously, Werner is good. All he needs is his number 9 position. Yeah, boy. If you think that, please explain to me why he keeps missing sitters when he's right in front of the goalkeeper. You don't get more central than that. Would you play as a winger or as a striker? What time will by Streambury tomorrow? Probably in the evening, mate. I can't tell you an exact time yet. But hey, here we have some things to talk about. A lot of things to talk about. First of all, the first time all season we've beaten a team that was in the top 10, which is great. We've moved back into 5th, which of course still isn't as great as it was a couple of weeks ago before those last 2 defeats, but still better than it looked before this game was played. So hey, things are good. Things are good. We're going into Christmas, at least with 5th, not looking down like in 7th or 8th or something. So hey, let's be positive. Let me quickly get up on screen the lineup that we went with today. Obviously, sadly, this fancy thing around me will go away then, but you'll deal with it for a second. Because we went with a not 100% surprising team, but there were a few things in there that we didn't necessarily expect. This is the team we went with. Edouard Mendy in goal, a centre-back partnership of Zouma and Thiago Silva. Azpilicueta came in at right-back, of course, with the injury of Reece James' knee injury. It has since been reported that surgery is the last resort that Chelsea will take. So for the time being, he will just be rested for a while, and we'll see how he does even for next week or the games after that. Ben Chilwell started at left-back, but obviously that didn't last for long. Jorginho came into the side, which I certainly didn't expect for Kai Havertz, really. No Kovacic, no Billy Gilmore. Jorginho came into it, moving N'Golo Kante to the right side of the central midfield spot next to Mason Mount, who of course remained in the side. And neither Hakim Ziyech nor Callum Hudson-Odoi managed to start the game. Hakim Ziyech not even making the squad. Callum Hudson-Odoi was at least on the bench, but remained an unused sub. Timo Werner started on the left. Yes, on the left. Pulisic started on the right. Yes, on the right. And also, surprisingly, to me at least, Tammy Abraham started up top rather than Olivier Giroud, which I really didn't expect. But in the end, especially how the game went, I really wasn't unhappy with. Of course, everyone in the chat, if you don't know my streams, how I do it, so I talk through the game from my perspective, and I will mention a couple of chats, obviously, especially if you use the super chat function. I will get to that as soon as I can, but especially when I'm done talking through the game from my personal perspective, I will get to your guys' comments in the chat, and we'll discuss the game a little bit there. No, I didn't see that, Abbas. It sounds quite funny. If you can find a clip of that, please DM it to me. Abraham scored 2. Yes, he did score 2. Right, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the game, because we actually started brilliantly. So basically what today's first half was the complete opposite of the Everton game. The complete opposite of it. Because at Everton and the Wolves, we started really, really badly, but it works better for the Everton game. But then we went 1-0 down. And today we started really, really well, went 1-0 up, and then just got worse. While against Everton, after we scored, we got a bit better. But today we were just awful after that. But anyways, let's get into the game. Let's talk about how the game went. First of all, like I said, we started quite well, but sadly and annoyingly, Ben Chilwell rolled his ankle and got injured. Tried to play on, but then was forced to come off. And literally as he came off, the ball went out for a corner, he came off, and from said corner, Thiago Silva scored. Another assist for Mason Mount. People be talking about how many assists that he doesn't have, like more than 2 assists from open play in 70 games or something. Yeah, but at least he has some from the set pieces because no one bloody else does. So stop undermining that as a part of his game that's really important to us doing well, because he's scored 8 goals from corners already this season. Excuse me, the most from any team in the Premier League, which of course is brilliant. And Thiago Silva stepped up this time. What's going on? No cut Zouma, but it was Thiago Silva this time. Bloody brilliant, bloody happy. And we kept playing well for about 10 minutes. You know, we had a couple of moments where we did well. There was this one moment where Jorginho played a beautiful over-the-top curl ball to Mason Mount and made a great run down the right. He cut it back into the box. And I thought Timo Werner stopped his run when he should have just kept running, and then he would have had the tap in. People were telling me something about offside. I didn't see it again. I didn't see any replay of this whole situation happening. So I don't know what people were talking about with offside, but if I'm right in how I saw it, I think Timo bought another one. He should have just kept his run going. He wasn't offside, I think, when Mount played the ball, and he would have had a tap-in. Instead, he stopped behind the centre-back for no reason. Any which way. We continue on with the game around the 20-minute passes, and we just forget how to play football. Every single player basically forgot how to play football, other than the two centre-backs. They all forgot how to play football. Obviously, Ben Chilwell was off, so we now had Aspie and Emerson on the pitch, right? Our two worst fullbacks. Obviously, that will make us struggle to some extent. But Jorginho, I think he had good moments, actually, especially in the first half. I thought Jorginho was quite decent. Yeah, he had a couple of sloppy moments, I agree. A couple of mistakes that he shouldn't make. But he also had some good moments, which I didn't actually expect from him. But any which way, someone said, nah, Timo would have been off there. But how would he have been off there? Because Mount played the cross from so close to the touchline. I don't quite understand that. But here we have a first donation of the day, which I do appreciate. Richard Grace, $5 donation. What about that Pulisic Tammy 1-2 play for the second goal? Bro, I will get to it, Richard. I will get to it. It was beautiful. It was honestly beautiful. We'll talk about it. But I really appreciate the donation. Thanks a lot. Really do appreciate it. But yeah, everyone struggled. Whether it was Kante who couldn't control the ball, whether it was Mount who couldn't really get involved, Pulisic being over the right on his worst side was the only one that was actually doing things and trying, even if it wasn't coming off for him. Timo Werner, I don't think, controlled a single ball well today. Tammy was caught in the middle of nowhere, just like Drew was against Everton and Wolves, even though Drew obviously got that goal. But still, they were struggling, and it was really happening for us. West Ham are kind of toying with us, in all honesty, but without scoring goals. Other than that, they scored an offside goal in the 7th minute. And then I think around the 30th minute, they scored a goal, which was ruled out for a foul on Thiago Silva. I won't lie to you. I think that was a little bit of a... it was soft. I think we got away with it a little bit. I didn't see much of a foul. I will admit. But... yeah, the rest of the first half, we were just poor. Like, I can't remember every single chance we had. I do apologize if I missed one. But I don't think we did anything, to be honest. We were just bad. And West Ham were a much better team. And we go into the second half, and the same thing continued. We were just struggling so bad. West Ham had all the control, but they didn't actually create anything. They had one moment, which was a cross, I think by Cresswell, maybe it was even a set piece, where Sebastian Oler got his head on it, but he put it wide. That was the only thing they had. West Ham didn't have a single shot on target today, even though they dominated us for about an hour of that game. Jorginho is the reason we couldn't control the game. Instead of progressing the ball, he was different by dropping into centre-backs. I pray he sold in January. Now, if you think Jorginho dropping between the centre-backs isn't an instruction from Lampard, then you're stupid. Because if Jorginho was doing that and Lampard didn't like it, he'd tell him to stop. And if he didn't stop, he'd take him off, right? So Jorginho doing that shouldn't be criticized by Jorginho. Or like, Jorginho shouldn't be criticized for doing that because that's instruction. I agree with it. I don't think that was what was needed today. I get what we were trying to do. We were trying to drag West Ham out by doing that and then play around them to open them up a bit because they sit so deep, which is how you open up defenses. The problem was our passing wasn't anywhere near good enough today to actually get around them. So that's why it really didn't work, because Kante can't do it, Ice. Kante can't do it. It was a different setup today that Lampard specifically tried to do to help us open up defenses, because that's what we struggled with so much for the last few games. We struggled so much with opening up defenses, hence why we didn't create enough and lost the last 2 games. And here we got another, this time $10 donation. Bro, Richard, hope you're well. We need to make a request to have all crossbars removed. Yes, let's have all crossbars removed. Poor Timo. Like, I'm harsh on him, but I will let him off a little bit as well. But hey, we continue. Oh no, was that in the first half still? Timo Werner's miss? Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Oh, bloody hell. Yes, it was. Just before half-time. I completely forgot. Pardon me. Pulisic, beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, runs through about everybody, has Timo Werner to his left, has Tammy Abraham to his right. To be honest, should pass it to Tammy. Tammy actually had a better position, right? Didn't. Passed it to Timo. And yes, I will say maybe waited a second too long and then maybe slightly underhit that ball. But anyone that gives that it gives excuse for Timo Werner to miss another one-on-one situation with the goalkeeper when he's literally inside the box. Because the Pulisic pass wasn't played in the perfect round. Mate, Timo Werner is Timo bloody Werner. He scored 34 goals last season. Timo Werner shouldn't require the perfect pass to actually score a goal. He had a poor touch again, as he always does. Why do you touch it with your right foot if you're then going to shoot with your left? Touch it with your left, shoot with your right. That's your strong foot. That's how it should work for you. No, he controls it with his right, has a poor touch, rolls over to his left, has an awful shot straight at the keeper. Even the bloody Twitter admin was taking a piss how poor of an effort it was. Anyways, we're going to half-time. I'm just laughing at this point. I'm sat there on Twitter, by the way. Follow me. It's at Laos1507. I'm literally sat there like, I'm just not going to comment because everybody's just going to tell me how harsh I am. When the only thing the guy does is miss everything. And we go into the second half, right? And the first thing we had was a half counter moment where Mason Mount played a beautiful ball over to Tammy Abraham on the right. And Tammy should have crossed the first time. I will admit, Timo Werner was making a run from the far left. And yeah, Tammy should have played the cross first time. Didn't, took 2 more touches and then crossed it. But it was still actually a surprisingly incredible cross by Tammy Abraham. That he just whipped into the middle. And Timo Werner is literally around the penalty spot. And maybe he slipped, right? I only saw one replay. It didn't look like he slipped to me. But I don't think he slipped. Anyway, to me, it looked like he just tried to slide into the ball, but he slid too early and then didn't get anywhere near the ball and just slid into Fabianski and kind of injured him. You know, it's a bit of a weird one. People be talking about Werner's not a winger. Werner was one-on-one with the goalkeeper. It doesn't matter whether you're a winger or a striker. You're one-on-one with the goalkeeper, for bloody hell. Like, what is this? What is this expression? Like, what is the point? Are you saying if Ben Chilwell plays centre back and he's out on the left, he shouldn't do so? Like, he shouldn't still defend it? No, this makes no sense. If he's one-on-one with the goalkeeper, what are you talking about? Timo of the ball was great though. No, he wasn't. He was shocking. He was shocking at everything he did. He can't. The guy tracks back all the time, and I've never seen him make a tackle. I've never seen him go for a header. He's awful. He didn't control a single ball today. Let me actually get his stats up. Let me actually get that up. I want to see that today. Does it say like controls here? It doesn't. Shame. Well, he won 1 duel and lost 13, so that's not great. Dribbles attempted 5, dribbles succeeded 1, dispossessed twice, was fouled 0 times, fouled once, tackles attempted 0, aerials won 0, aerials lost 5. Mind you, he played on the wings and he was up against the fullback, not even a centre back. Imagine him trying to win a header against the centre back. I'm just reading out stats to you here, guys. I didn't make these things up. No. Well, I'm Timo out for the time being, even though against Arsenal I would actually play him up top. Although Arteta could just sit back and then there's no point. But if Arsenal open up a little bit, then I want Timo there. And then once he can run into space, I believe in him that he will score. But the things he's doing right now, it wasn't happening. Like I said, he had that moment, he slid into the ball, isn't happening. And then he had another moment. We were about to hit on the break. He just miscontrols and the ball almost goes out of play. He has to slow down. I'm not insulting him. I'm just stating facts, ladies and gentlemen. And if you don't like it, I apologize. But these are facts. And no one was excusing Alvaro Morata. No one was excusing Tammy Abraham when he had a poor run. Everyone is finding all of the bloody excuses all of you could possibly think of for Tammy Abraham, for Timo Werner, and I will not bloody stand for it. I will not bloody stand for the slander that Tammy Abraham has to receive all of the bloody time. When since the last time Timo Werner scored, Tammy has scored 3 goals. And all the slander Tammy gets. When Timo Werner in that time has missed 10 sitters, 10, I counted them all myself, 10 sitters scoring 0 goals. And his last goal was a penalty as well. So don't know. No, I will give him some love now. Later on, when we was already 3-0 up, I will talk about the goals. He did hit the bar from an opportunity where first of all, really well done by Kante in that moment. But he hit the bar. That was a tough one. I will let him off. That was actually a good shot, a good effort. I think, you know, he did well there. I think he did well there. But anyways, let's get into that. Like I said, we were struggling. We only had that cross for Tammy, for Timo. That was the only thing we had in the second half, really. Until let me get the moments up. Actually, if this just goes away here. The 78th minute. And funnily enough, Timo Werner tries to take a shot from just outside the box and scuffs it so hard. He scuffed it so hard that it ended up being an assist for Tammy Abraham. And Tammy Abraham just went like, Timo, come here, Tim. Look at this. So this is how you score a goal. Just literally squeaked it past the goalkeeper, gave it a little touch, the softest touch, squeaked the pass into the far corner, and it was a beautiful goal. It wasn't a beautiful goal at all, but it was a 2-0, and that was the goal we needed. And Werner had 4 chances to actually score. He didn't. It was honestly disappointing. What did everyone? Sorry, but almost everyone is letting him. Well, yeah, true. Now they are. But I was letting him already, and everyone was excusing him. So I'm still on that. I like the fact Timo is still getting chances for himself, but he needs to start scoring. He's horrific in the air and shouldn't start in the middle. I don't think he shouldn't start in the middle ever, but depending on the opponent. And, of course, Fantasy PGA Tour. Although I will say, bro, if you want to do all of the donations, do that on my channel tomorrow, please. Rather than here, I need a bunch more than the collective of us. I'm taking a piss. Drogba, please come back from retirement. No, it was kind of true. But yeah, and then so Tammy scores that brilliant 2-0, kind of the game done and dusted, and then we score again. And what a 1-2, right? What a 1-2. Wait, which one was that? So how that was created, sorry, I completely forgot again. Right. So how that 2-0 was created, it was a beautiful goal kick, I think, or just long ball by Mendy, by the goalkeeper, to Tammy, who has had brilliant hold-up play. The Tammy cross Van der Sleep. Did he actually, though, Jack? I honestly didn't see it, if he actually did. If he did, fair play. Anyways, for the 2-0, Mendy, super-duper long ball to Tammy. Great chest hold-up play. Passed it off to maybe Mount, who played it out to Werner, who then had the shot. Tammy in the perfect moment, not offside. Taps it in, perfect. Right, off we go. 2 minutes later, beautiful play. Pulisic, Werner. Pulisic actually plays it out to Mount, which he kind of doesn't do that well with. But in the end, Mount hits a perfect cross over to the far post. Pulisic kind of just misses the ball, and then the goalkeeper and Pulisic kind of just collide. They're both on the floor. Tammy gets the ball at the far post and just smacks it home. And honestly, I guarantee you, if Timo Werner has the chance, he misses it. I just have to say that. He misses that. Timo Werner doesn't score that chance that Tammy makes it 3-0 from. He just doesn't. He just hits that in the side netting, in the outside side netting. He just does. He just absolutely does. And there is good things about Timo. For example, what TMX Oblivion said here, what I like about Timo is that he never gives up like Morata. You miss this hit and just lie down for 10 minutes. Timo doesn't ever stop trying. This is true, but it doesn't help anybody if you miss your next 10 as well. It doesn't actually help anybody. Ooh, no. Okay. I will talk through the team in a minute, but Aspie was certainly not man of the match. Right. And yeah, so we had that chance for a 4-0 even at the end. And hey, at the end of the day, we won 3-0. Tammy Abraham doing bits, which I'm very pleased about. Thiago Silva scoring goals, keeping a clean sheet, a 6th clean sheet for Edouard Mendy this season in the Premier League, which is bloody brilliant. I'm bloody pleased about all of that. And at the end of the day, I can't really complain today other than a little bit about Timo Werner. But no, I tell a lie. I can complain. Because for about an hour of today's game, we were actually awful. We were actually bloody dreadful. And we need to fix that. And Frank Lampard, I read already on my phone, said we weren't good, we weren't beautiful, and we were struggling at times. We were certainly struggling at times. I do still owe you a couple of the substitutions that we made. Let me actually get that up just to get the minutes right. In the 66th minute, we brought Jorginho off for Mateo Kovacic, putting N'Golo Kante back into his now more used to number 6 position. And it didn't help straight away, but the longer it went on like that, it was a little bit better because we actually had someone in midfield. Because our problem was today that because we didn't have the fullbacks, our actual good fullbacks, we couldn't release the ball. So when we were pressed, we always went for the long ball and never held on to it. Because none of them actually went to Tammy. They were all just everywhere. But neither Pulisic or Werner actually made runs to try to get, like those weren't long balls because someone made a run. Those were just long ball for no reason, right? Because we didn't have the fullbacks, that was an issue. Because usually when the midfielders are under pressure, they play out to the fullback, or the centre backs play out to the fullback, and then we build triangles and then we pass our way out of the problem, right? But because we didn't have the good fullbacks, and even though Emerson is good in possession, he doesn't pick up the positions that he needs to pick up. But because Jorginho, the guy that was actually good on the ball in midfield, played so deep, it didn't actually help us transition past the midfield. Other than very early on, when, for example, he played a beautiful ball over the top for Messi Mount. But that's why I don't think Jorginho helped us today as much as he could have done, but not really to his own fault because of how West Ham played. West Ham had the double man pressed it on Jorginho, and then had a 4-man on Kante and Mount, who then couldn't do nothing. But then once we changed it and brought Kovacic into that position, who is, of course, so extremely press-resistant, he received the ball, turned, passed. It took a few minutes for everyone to get a grip on that and actually do something rather than just hope for Kovacic to run with the ball and score or whatever. But that's how it helped and why it changed. And then later on, we made a sub as Kai Havertz for the last 10 minutes, or for the last 5 minutes, if you will, came on for Christian Pulisic, which, you know, I'm happy with. Because Christian Pulisic, of course, just came back from injury. And people are saying Pulisic isn't perfect yet and could have done this better. He certainly was a bit unlucky in some moments. Had a good moment, I think, late in the first half where kind of the ball bounced unluckily off him. Otherwise, he might have scored. And obviously, for the 3-0, he almost scored that as well. Very pleased with him to be out for so long and so much as he has been this season, and to come back and still be one of our best players on the pitch every time he plays. I think it's just a hugely impressive sign of how good of a player he is. Because honestly, there's very few people that do that. There's very, very few people that do that. Another $10 donation by Richard Grace. Again, hey, if you want to donate, boys, just do it on my channel tomorrow. Frank really needs to stop the Werner left wing experiment. We go from bad with Werner on the left to good with Pulisic on the left, and then back to bad with Werner on the left, and it's frustrating. It's true. I mean, the thing is, they swapped a lot. So it was, I would say, more minutes of today's game. Pulisic was on the right, Werner on the left, but they swapped and interchanged. And the problem, first of all, I still excuse Frank today for doing the Werner on the wing thing, because Hudson-Odoi wasn't fit to start and Ziyech wasn't even on the bench. So who do you start on the wing instead, right? But once, obviously, all the wingers are fit, then either Werner doesn't start or he starts up top. There's these two options. He certainly doesn't start on the wing anymore, in my opinion, just because and not because, and I will give different reasons for that than you guys. I don't give that because it's bad for him. I think it's bad for the team if he plays there, because him playing on the wing is just completely cutting out that wing for any creativity. He can't dribble, he can't run, he can't pass, he can't, well, basically can't shoot these days, and he can't control the ball. So if we actually had a good player on the wing, we would be much more threatening than if we had Timo Werner on the wing, right? And then if he can perform, if he plays up top, great. But, you know, we'll have to see about that. This run against Timo is getting old. Mount working hard, but not getting around the box to shoot. Timo keep running all game, pressing. Our performance was awful. I am more worried about it. I mean, yeah, Timo does press, but that is actually a thing that I actually want to mention in general. I don't think we're pressed enough, and I don't think why we do that. It's like we exuded all our energy against Leeds, and ever since then we stopped pressing. And I don't quite understand why we do it. But let me talk about the team one by one, and let's talk through the performances. Edouard Mendy had one weird little fist punch, but other than that, didn't have anything to do, because West Ham didn't have a shot on target, and he collected a couple crosses, so happy with him. Thiago Silva, Zouma, both by far the man of the matches today. Thiago Silva, I guess, because he scored over Zouma. But especially Thiago Silva, he blocked everything. He took balls to the face, to the gut, to the stomach, to the ribs. He defended everything like an absolute monster that he is. And Zouma, every cross that came in, Sebastian Haller didn't get a bloody look in. He just annihilated him. Them two, immense. For that hour in the game, from the 20th minute to the 80th minute, them two were the reason why we didn't lose today. Because those two were immense. From start to finish, incredible. And I'm so bloody happy with both of them. Azpilicueta, defensively brilliant, offensively awful. Maybe it's instructions. But at some points in the first half, he was really far out wide, right, and attacking, and how Reece does it, and whatever else. But then there were so many moments where he just stayed almost as if he was playing as a third centre-back back on the Conte days, staying so narrow. And there was no width created at all. And it really stopped us having, and I think that was a big reason why we lost the ball so many times, because he was so far central. It made no sense to me. Emerson on the other side, I don't think was bad, but I think Emerson just isn't as good. Right? Emerson, you don't see Emerson losing the ball. Emerson doesn't do that. But you don't see Emerson playing the perfect of crosses. Doesn't happen for him. And he doesn't get up the positions that Chilwell does. And it's a frustrating one. It's frustrating that he just doesn't get into those positions. And Emerson doesn't like to tackle. I don't know why. But he always tries to like block a cross, but then he never actually does. So every cross comes past him. It's a bit frustrating, but I don't think it was bad. It's just he's not that good. Jorginho, like I touched on already, I thought he had great moments early in the first half when the team was great. But then once we struggled, he against Markano with Declan Rice, Thomas Suchek, I think the physicality wasn't for him at all. And with the way we played today, without having a fullback, I think he struggled a bit. But then he still had brilliant moments. He had a couple of great passes, he had a couple of great tackles, he had a couple of great moments where he somehow didn't lose the ball, even though it was pressed by about 3 people. So that was good. But then he had a couple of mistakes that he shouldn't have made, misplaced passes, losing the ball in a position that he shouldn't have. So that was good and bad for Jorginho today. For me, some people thought it was awful. Some people thought it was brilliant. I think it was somewhere in the middle. And N'Golo Kante struggled as an 8, in my opinion. Had too many bad touches, too many bad passes. Once he came back into the 6, helped us a lot more, was a lot more comfortable, was a lot better. Then I was happy with him. Mason Mount doesn't do much with how much he works, but still works so incredibly hard and is super important and plays those couple of incredible passes. For example, the chance that Werner and Tammy possibly should have crossed it a bit earlier, and then Werner still should have done better, in my opinion. Great ball by Mount, and there was a couple of good balls that Mount played. Timo Werner, we touched on plenty. I know, guys, I know. Christian Pulisic, like I said already, coming back from an injury, doing really well. Not quite getting on the score sheet this game, but still impressive, in my opinion, to come back from such a long time out and still play this well. I would just love to see him on the left consistently throughout the majority of the game. And then Tammy Abraham, I think he worked his bloody socks off. I saw people in my Austrian Chelsea fan group chat, right, saying Tammy doesn't run more than a bloody kilometre, and he's always standing, and he's always this and always that. Now, there is two things we see here. That cross from Tammy to Werner is the reason why when Tammy plays up top, Werner gets chances. Think about the last two games. Think about them. Wolves and Everton. Who started up top with Giroud? And who didn't have a single chance in either game? Timo Werner. And it's a big difference. And this is not criticism of Oliver Giroud. It's just the type of player. It's Giroud, if he starts up top, will stay in the middle. Tammy will stay in the middle for the most part, but can go out wide, can play across like that. Assisted, for example, when Pulisic scored. Was that away across when Tammy assisted that? There was a couple of assists that Tammy actually got from the right-hand side with decent crosses. Tammy can do that, and then Werner can take up the central position. And that's why he had chances again today. And people underestimate that. People underestimate the amount of work that Tammy does. The hold-up play before his own second goal, incredible. Incredible. He didn't have to do much for the finish, but he actually scored. Unlike Timo Werner, who couldn't score anything to save his life right now. And I do feel bad for him. As much as I criticize Timo, I actually feel really bad for him, right? Because we know he's a good footballer. He just can't show it right now. And I really just hope that his bad run stops and he is able to show it soon. Because I want him to score. I want him to score a hat-trick bloody every game. Just annihilate everybody. That's what I want from him. But right now, he's just not doing it. And I think too many people are giving him too much leeway. But anyways, I thought Tammy was pretty brilliant. Honestly, I thought he was amazing. Ran, worked his socks off, won every header when defending corners, scored 2 goals. The second finish, beautiful. Brilliant. Honestly, a brilliant, brilliant performance. And that's exactly what I want to see from Tammy Abraham. That is exactly what I want to see from Tammy Abraham. To just improve. To just, he struggled for a bit. So you saw Oliver Giroud taking up the striker spot. And then he comes back, gets his start again, and does something like that. Scores the 2 important goals today. Brilliant. Honestly, brilliant. I don't think you can ask for more, because at least it allows a little bit of central work for Timo Werner. And that's a good thing as well. And Ethan saying, we need Ziyech against Arsenal. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see whether he ends up being fit or not. Let me actually try that if I prefer this. I do. That looks better, in my opinion. Tammy was fantastic, very clinical, but I was really impressed with his off-ball movement and his 1-2s. I hope he can get some consistency into his game. That's all he's missing, as well as more physicality. I agree with this statement, Fabian. I agree with this statement. And I don't think any one of us is thinking Tammy Abraham will actually be the guy that will score 30 to 35, even 25 goals for Chelsea. I don't think he will. Honestly, I will have to admit that. I don't think he will ever be that guy. But I absolutely do believe that he can be a crucial player to have around that people shouldn't be hating on as much as they are. Because he will get us important goals. Giroud to head the winner in Arsenal from Ziyech 1 stroke. Oh, mate, I would love that. Fantasy PJ too. I would love that. I'm convinced we should sign Declan Rice. Hey, I like the guy. I think it's just too expensive. If they told us for 40 million, I'd be all over Declan Rice. But so would other clubs. That's the issue. I love Pulisic. I do too. He could be, you never know. Don't know what you're saying. Well, yeah, you're right. He could be that. Havertz was fine for a few minutes. True. Didn't do anything wrong. Tell people to smash the like button. Baguma, you're my G, bro. You're my G. Everyone, 460 people watching, go down below and smash the like button right now, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very, very much. Do that and subscribe, both to my personal channel, link is down in the description, and to Blues Fans TV. And someone said he scored 17 goals in the league last season, FFS. True. I'm not. I wasn't criticizing Tammy with this at all. I just don't think he will be the guy to do that week in, week out. Just because I think we will have players to play above him more often than not. That's just what I believe. Okay, I won't ban you, Steve Halilovic. Don't ban me, Lawrence, but I find you. If I was a girl in your type, I'd be yours. Go on, Steve. It's a bit weird, but hey, you do you, bro. You do you. If Werner gets a hat-trick against Arsenal, oi. If Werner gets a hat-trick against Arsenal, it was worth the wait. Yes, bloody hell, it will be. And no, I won't apologise because all the things I said were still always true. And I keep saying I just want him to do well. I want him to improve. I want him to actually to once break that barrier and actually score. I can't wait for it. I can't wait for it. Should we have checked Drogba at the beginning? No, and look at that career. Give Werner time to that. Oh yeah, of course. But mate, VKO. Do I sit here and say sell Timo Werner? No, not at all. What I'm saying. But I'm saying if he isn't in form, don't force it. Obviously, because we have the injury problems right now, we on the wings, we can't not play him because we don't have the players to not play him. But if we had wingers available, I would leave him out for a couple of games. Not against Arsenal, but other than that, I would, and not against City either. We need him. He needs to start against City. But against other teams, he can come off the bench or can just not start. I think it would kind of help. It would kind of help. Don't comment on people saying Werner shouldn't play on the wing. He played there a few times with Leipzig. Not just a few times, mate. He played there dozens of games. Giroud over to Abraham. That's tough today. No. I think Tammy today and his start, just like Giroud had his start with his performance at Sevilla, today Tammy had his, in my opinion. Richard, Lawrence, don't apologise for Timo. This guy is shockingly awful and needs to get serious. He's worse than Batshuayi, and that is worrying. But he's so much worse than Batshuayi. Batshuayi finishes every chance he gets. This is harsh on Mishi. Mishi's a genius. Not his best, but yeah, Mount was decent. Don't know who we're talking about that, but yeah. Breaking news, Chelsea have signed Declan Rice. Don't think so. I want to beat Arsenal so bad that he breaks his phone this time. That'd be funny. Mount or Rice? What a silly comparison. Both of them. They don't go without each other. Havertz should not start as Arsenal will play 5 garbage minutes will not help him develop. Yeah. Well, obviously, you have to consider today that we had to make a sub in the 10th minute already with Ben Chilwell getting injured. So obviously, the whole substitute thing for Lampard was made a bit more tricky. I agree that Werner shouldn't start, that Havertz shouldn't start against Arsenal. I don't think it's the game for him. I think Kovacic finally needs to really start. Mount, Kovacic, Kante, who needs to start against Arsenal. I don't know why this isn't happening. But yeah, I'm worried about Mount. Frank is not really helping his game. We need him around opposition's box. I don't disagree with this Faldiasa, but Mount himself disagrees with you. Mount himself sees him as much more of an 8 than he sees himself as a 10, and he actually enjoys doing this. And Mount's best attribute is actually his passing or his shooting. But he's hit passes with a lot of pace, but he distributes them left and right or through the lines. The only guy to actually play those passes at Chelsea Football Club, and Billy, but no one else does. No one else does. Arsenal is coming. Do we know how to deal with a wounded lion? To be honest, I'm a little bit worried about Arsenal, not because they're good, but because it just seems like a game we will struggle in. But ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to leave it here. We didn't make one mistake. True, I gave him credit. I don't think it was brilliant, but he didn't do anything wrong. So, it's all good. It's all good. And, it's still obviously disappointing that Ben Chilwell got injured. But, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave it here. I've been going for 33 minutes. But the next time I'll see you will be on Christmas Day for my Arsenal preview. I will record it in advance. If there's anything wrong with it, I do that, information that we get between when I record it and Christmas Day. I do apologize, but I will see you there. If you do celebrate Christmas, I wish you an awful I just said I wish you an awful time. I wish you a great Christmas. Obviously, depending on where you live, tier 4 and that, if you can't celebrate it with anybody, I do feel bad for you. Try to make the best out of it, I guess. And hey, you'll have a cheeky little preview by myself to watch to cheer you up. So I hope everybody's going to have a good holiday, good couple of days off. I can't talk anymore. Bloody hell. We're up against we're playing Arsenal soon. It's a tough one. I'm excited for it. But hey, at the end of the day, all I can really say, subscribe to Blues Fans TV if you haven't already. That'd be massively appreciated. Drop a like on this live stream if you're watching this right now. Would that be sick as well? Subscribe to my personal channel, to which the link is down in the description below. Or you just type in my name, Laurens Vescoli. Over on YouTube, help me subscribe. There will be a live in-depth analysis of today's game over there tomorrow evening as well. And let me just shout out our sponsors quickly as well. If you fancy any of the new Chelsea kits, any Chelsea gear, any of the, in general, football gear, use the link down in the description below and actually get 65% off if you use our promo code VAR65. But yeah, I really do appreciate every single one of you that has tuned in. Thank you guys for watching. Merry Christmas if you do celebrate it. If you don't and you have time off anyway, enjoy it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Up to Chelsea. And I'll see you, on Christmas, but when I see you.